Hello and welcome. My name is Rob Simons, and I'm the Chicago Violin Competition's Judge Chair and the former principal second violinist of the Rochester Philharmonic Orchestra. And I am very excited to be joined today by Stephan Zhang, who is the first prize winner of the Young Artist Division in 2024. Welcome, Stephan.
Hi, it's great to be here.
Tell us a little bit about where you live and what you're up to.
Yeah, so I'm currently in Oklahoma. This is where I was born and raised. It's actually very icy here right now. We're having a couple, snow days, so some time to relax for sure. Yeah.
It's a tough place for the winter and the weather all year round there. So tell us about what you do. Like, what grade are you in school? What kind of school do you go to?
Yeah, so I'm currently a junior in high school. I go to Stillwater High School. It's a pretty big public school. So yeah. Yeah.
And how do you balance playing the violin at a very high level and being in a big public school?
So, last semester was actually quite hectic. I was doing lots of applications for both competitions and summer camps, and
Mhm.
lots of AP classes too. So, it was pretty full schedule every day. But, you know, the more I grow in music, I find that it's really important about the quality of your practice rather than how much time you really have to be able to practice and being strategic about your practice. So, yeah, those are some of the things that I try to integrate into my
Well,
schedule.
speaking of practicing and learning, tell us about your teachers and your mentors where you live.
Yeah, so actually when I first started, my teacher, his name was Gregory Lee. He really helped me build a really good foundation. I studied with him for I think a little over 10 years. So,
Wow.
yeah, he built a great foundation for me. He taught me most everything I know. And yeah, he's in California now with the Queensland Symphony, so I'm really happy for him.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, what was at the heart of his Gregory's teaching philosophy? What did he teach you? Like, what rate etudes and repertoire did you work on?
So, um, I basically covered all the standard repertoire with him, big concertos, big sonatas. Actually, not as many sonatas as concertos, but that's one aspect I'm still trying to work on. Lots of showpieces. He taught me lots of technique. That's kind of like the strong aspect of my playing, if you will. So yeah, he taught me lots of great technique. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you do have monster techniques, that's for sure. So,
Appreciate
tell me, how'd you get started? Do you have a parent or a family member that played the violin? What got you into it?
Yeah, so actually, right before I started, my older brother, he's about 5 years older than me. He also started playing the violin at a very young age. And I don't really remember this, but my parents always tell me, when he would practice, I would like jump up and down to like the rhythm of his playing while he was practicing. So I guess I really loved it, and I wanted to be just like him. So my parents got me a violin.
That's cool. Well, two questions. Is your brother still playing?
Yes, he's actually in his fourth year at Columbia Juilliard.
Oh,
So
very cool.
yeah, he's still playing.
And was there somebody in the house that played the violin before your brother?
Actually, no. Lots of people ask us that, like, wow, you have two family members, me and my brother, that play at a fairly high level. So there must be someone else in your family that's also done the same. But surprisingly, no. My mom and dad never really played music. I actually have another older brother. Um, he played a little after middle school, but it was nothing too serious.
So
Yeah.
it's just the two of you that are really serious about the violin.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, what are you interested in academically in school?
I really enjoyed last semester's U.S. history class. I learned a lot of new things. I was never really a big history person, but after last,
What period were you studying?
actually from all the way from like before the creation of the country all the way until like present times.
Oh,
So,
wow, that's a pretty big survey.
oh
Very
yeah.
cool. And so, what brother's studying at Columbia?
He's actually an econ major. I think he's doing like a minor in computer science. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So, for the competition, you played the Walton Concerto. beautifully, I might add. You said that as when you started out with your first teacher, you went through a ton of repertoire. So is that why you picked kind of an unfamiliar, a less familiar piece to perform?
Yeah, that was definitely a big reason. Before the Walton, I was never really exposed to much modern or contemporary music or concertos. So, at first that was something that I wasn't too open-minded with because, as a kid, not every kid understands all the modern music. But I wanted to try something new, and I guess it worked out very well.
It did. So tell us, what are you thinking about in that repertoire? It's big, expansive, British, romantic repertoire. Like, what are you trying to get across in that music?
Yeah, so to me, I think the first movement starts out with a very both intimate and kind of sort of like a melancholy introduction. It's very lyrical. It's actually both very lyrical and very showy. So, I'm just trying to get the most out of, both my left hand and my right hand technique, bring out the lyricism and the difficult fast passages as well. Yeah.
Do you play any other British repertoire? Britain Violin Concerto is making a comeback.
Uh, I I don't think I've played much British music other than the Walthin. Yeah.
All right, so talk to us about the block that you played too. That again, maybe a little bit more familiar, but a very challenging and very flashy piece. But tell us about how you chose that and what you're thinking about when you play it.
Yeah, so I was kind of looking down the list of reps. I came across the Nagoon, and you know, it was very special when I first listened to it, and then I kind of dug deeper and I looked into like the background
Mhm.
of the piece, and it's like it sort of demonstrates like all of the struggles that the Jewish people went through. So it has a very, very deep context and background. So I really wanted to convey that through my playing.
For both the Walton and the block, as you hinted at this a little bit, who are your influences in this repertoire as a violinist?
I really enjoyed Perlman's recording of the Nagoon. He plays it so effortlessly and so flawlessly. And for the Walton, I think I listened to James Innes a lot. I really enjoyed his recording as well. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a wonderful player. How do you choose repertoire for competitions? When you said you look down the list, but do you have like any strategy or tactics you think about when you pick a piece, either because it's new and you want to try something different, or do you go into competitions with stuff that you feel super confident with that you played before?
Yeah. So to me, I think what's really important when choosing reps for competitions is choosing something that's both or pieces that's both lyrical and showy, flashy, demonstrating like all your array of techniques, all of that, your lyricism, just trying to display as much of your skill as possible.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you're playing repertoire from, like you said, contemporary music or at least modern music from the 20th century, all these different periods. You played all this repertoire, virtuoso repertoire, the big standard concerto repertoire. What pieces or piece or composer speaks to you really deeply?
So I might be partially biased because I just finished playing his concerto very recently, but currently my favorite composer is definitely Brahms.
Hmm.
Uh, I think what I really enjoy about him the most is that um, in his music, a lot of the emotions are very internalized. So it's as if he wants to say something, but he's not quite sure how he wants to, convey it or express it. So, oftentimes it's kind of up to the player to interpret what he's trying to say here.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's what I really enjoy about Brahms.
Whose recordings of Brahms are you particularly partial to?
Well, I'd probably have to say Augustine Hadalick, but because first of all, he's just my favorite violinist of all time. Yeah, anything he plays is so flawless and so pristine. So yeah, I enjoy listening to him a lot.
Have you heard him play the Britten Concerto, the Benjamin Britten Concerto?
I actually have. Um, I think it was a while ago, but I've listened to most everything he's played.
Yeah, that's an incredible. He plays that so incredibly well. So when I was about your age, I was getting ready to go off to music school and so forth too, and figuring out the stuff that I was most interested in. I eventually became an orchestra player. What are you thinking about in the future? So what are you thinking about for college or music school? And then maybe more specifically, where, as you see yourself as a growing violinist, what parts of the field do you see yourself pursuing?
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy. I feel like I was just like a small kid yesterday, and now I'm already thinking about going to college. So honestly, it can be pretty overwhelming thinking about the possibilities of college. But I think aside from music, first of all, I might want to do like a double major, explore, try to see what else is out there. But
Mhm.
also, I really, really want to keep up with music. Definitely, probably, join an orchestra after college. I love orchestral playing. I've actually done NYO twice, National
Oh,
Youth Orchestra.
wow.
So it's really made me love orchestral playing. So that's something I've always wanted to chase after. Yeah.
When you go to school, what else are you hoping might be a little bit different than your life as a high school student? So you're a big public high school, you live in Oklahoma. What do you hope might be different wherever you go off to school? Maybe you play more chamber music, maybe you do XYZ. What would you hope to see?
Yeah, so first of all, I just want to go out into the world and see what else there is, because in Oklahoma, I can't say there's really too much going on here. So I definitely want to, explore the world. And with chamber music, yes, I definitely want to be a lot more exposed to chamber music because that's something that, again, I've never done too much here in Oklahoma.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And finally, are there any upcoming projects you're excited about? Do you have any concerts, recordings? What are you working towards right now?
Yeah, so I recently applied to a few camps, summer camps, and also competitions as well. So I'm looking forward to hearing from them. And I'm also a part of an organization called Solus and Luna Arts, and we basically go around different communities and try to bring comfort through music. So we go to places like hospitals and retirement homes, and I'm the county director here in Payne County of Oklahoma. So yeah, I have a few friends with me that go out to perform for different patients at hospitals, nursing homes, and it's very special.
Great, that's great. How did you get involved in that?
Yeah, so I actually, it's kind of like a friend of a friend. She reached out to me. She's actually the president of this organization, and she asked me if I was interested in becoming a county director here. And I thought it was very, very unique and very special. So I definitely wanted to be a part of it.
Stefan, what have you learned from doing this work?
I learned that, while people in these environments like hospitals, nursing homes, while they might not have been exposed to classical music very often, every time we perform for them, like the feedback we get from them is just absolutely heartwarming. Like they tell us how it's made their entire day, their entire week, and they've never heard anything like it. So that every time, that really motivates me to keep going, keep playing for other people. It's really, really heartwarming to see these smiles on their faces after we play.
That's great, because in classical music, so often the music schools or the concert halls are almost like temples. These very sacred places where the music only can happen in a certain way. And I think you're discovering at a young age that there's an intimacy, especially when people are unable to travel, perhaps to those concert halls. That music has an incredible power to reach people like that.
Yes, of course.
All right, man. This is a good place to wrap up. I want to thank Stefan for joining me today. and congratulations on being the first prize winner of the Young Artist Division. Subscribe and follow CVC for more content, and so you can learn more about Stephan and his amazing playing and all the other wonderful violinists that competed in this year's competition. Thanks for tuning in, and more content to come soon.